Welcome to the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. It is week 17, and for the first time in a very long while, the Jaguars have something to play for in this final regular season game. At 11-4 and already AFC South Division champions, if the Jaguars can win one more game, they will be the AFC's #1 seed. Today at home, they take on the Seattle Seahawks in the final regular season battle. Here we go, it's Tavon Austin from the 3. He starts up the middle and can't spin away as he's brought down at the 22. This year's improvement has been led by the offense, which begins in the ace pistol. Behind Ataki Mason is TJ Yeldon, and on this carry he spins ahead, and that will put him over the 1,000-yard mark for the third straight season to begin his career. To the air on second down. Mason is picked off by Richard Sherman. His very first throw of the day, and it's his 11th interception of the year. Against the zone coverage, he tried to squeeze it in there to Emmanuel Sanders. Well played by Sherman. Short field here for Russell Wilson and crew as Marshawn Lynch begins the Seahawks offensive day with a gain of 7. The Seahawks are 9-6 entering today's game, and Wilson looks to take off. He is wrapped up on the play by Reggie Nelson, and that is a sack. It forces 3rd and 5. Jaguars bluff a blitz. Wilson checked down. Jimmy Graham picks up the first down, and the Seahawks are now inside the red zone. The Seahawks come into today 9-6, hoping for a playoff spot as well. And this is Marshawn Lynch fighting down inside the 5 and taking the Seahawks to the 4. Now in the I formation, the box is stacked. Lynch gets it, and he's stopped by Sergio Brown around the 1-yard line. 2 receivers set, but it's another run, and Marshawn Lynch powers into the end zone. The Seahawks are on the board first. Capitalizing on the Richard Sherman interception, the Seahawks take a 7-0 first quarter lead. We'll see if Mason can rebound from that mistake on his first throw. Here's a play fake, and now he's in trouble and taken down for the sack by Michael Bennett. He had pressure from both edges and had nowhere to go. 3rd down and 18 as Mason goes empty. And he floats it out to Holiday. He spins, turns upfield, and is tackled out of bounds by Denard Young after nearly picking up the first down. So an interception and a punt for the Jaguar offense as Wilson goes play fake. And now he's the one in trouble. He's sacked by Dante Fowler, who went around left tackle Josh Wells, the ex-Jaguar. On 3rd down, Wilson hit by Fitzgerald, and the deep pass is incomplete. Looking for Jimmy Graham one-on-one, and the veteran Reggie Nelson is able to knock it free at the last moment. After a slow start offensively, can Mason help this offense find its rhythm? 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Here's a toss, and no block there on the edge as Yeldon maybe gets a couple. Trips right, it's 3rd down and 9 as the Seahawks blitz. Pressure there, and Mason's picked off again. Denard Young takes it inside the 30, another short field for Seattle. This time Mason was expecting Sanders to create separation. The pressure was there. Mason tried to time that correctly, but Young made an incredible play. Here is Lynch with running room. He sheds a tackle, and it's another red zone trip here after a gain of 9. Wilson in the shotgun, gives inside, and Smith comes down to make the tackle, and it's a short gain for Lynch. And they force the stop here off the fake. With time, Wilson is almost intercepted by Josh Buchanan. Forced that one for Curse, and it nearly cost him. 10-0 Seattle after a pair of Nataki Mason interceptions. Now back to work, and down he goes in the backfield, that time with good coverage. Bruce Irvin gets the sack. Seattle's defense so far just as advertised as Mason finds Julius Thomas, and this will get them close to the first down. It's a 3rd and manageable now. We'll see if they can extend the possession and get something going. 3rd and 3. Mason hits Allen Robinson. It took a while, but they finally moved the chains, and now they're at their own 37 against the stacked box. Nobody blocks Bruce Irvin, and he takes down Yeldon for a huge loss. They spread things out, empty on 3rd and 16. Mason going deep for Thomas, and he's intercepted. Earl Thomas takes it away from Julius Thomas, and it's his third interception. This is the kind of thing you have to be worried about against Seattle, but Mason's already at 3 interceptions in just over 1 quarter. 10-0 Seahawks as Lynch gets a wide open lane, and that's an easy first down run across the 45. So far it's been all Seahawks. They've been very impressive, taking a shot downfield now and incomplete. Well played by Sergio Brown as Wilson wanted Jermaine Kearse. On 3rd down and 4, good protection, and Wilson nearly gives it back. That was Telvin Smith who had Jimmy Graham covered there in man-to-man. At least that turnover did not lead to points. Mason needs to stop turning it over, and the ground game, if that can get established, that will be huge for Jacksonville. That's a gain of 6. To the air on 2nd down, they want the screen, and Mason sacked again. The 3rd time. 3 sacks and 3 interceptions for this defense already. To the air on 3rd and 12. Another interception by Nataki Mason. His 4th of the day. What is going on? That's 4 and 5 possessions. This time it's KJ Wright. Quarterbacks have been benched for less. And there you see Lee just run into Wright, and Wright had the positioning. Another short field for Russell Wilson. He's back to pass. Firing end zone. It's caught by Kearse, but they say he did not break the plane. He had to come back for it, but apparently came back too far. 1st and goal. It is Lynch meeting Dante Fowler, and they'll back up a couple yards. Heavy personnel in the game. They go to the fullback, and Derek Coleman stumbles forward, and he's stopped for no gain. So now 3rd down and goal, Wilson in the pistol. It is Lynch, and they meet him and stop him at the 2-yard line. This defense has been put into a tough spot today. It's great. They've only allowed 13 points after 4 interceptions. 5:35 to go in the opening half, and this is Tavon Austin from the end zone. Makes a move inside. Now back outside, running into Thomas and stumbling. If Thomas wasn't in his way, I don't think anybody catches him. So now back to the offense. Nataki Mason's still in the game, and he needs to prove that he belongs in today's game after what he's done, as Yeldon gets a few yards on 1st. From a 2-receiver set, pass complete to Julius Thomas. Earl Thomas tried to jump it, came up empty, and we're reminded just how fast Julius Thomas is. Touchdown Jaguars, and he is down along with Young. Thomas gets up, he appears to be okay, but Young is now shaken up for Seattle. I'm just happy the Jaguars got something going. Thomas wanted his 2nd interception. Instead, it's now a 13-7 game. This is Marshawn Lynch going nowhere, and that is Rolando McClain leading the charge. From the pistol inside 4 minutes. Here goes Wilson sliding ahead of the 35-yard line and setting up 3rd down and 4. Seahawks go empty. Here's the blitz. Pressure there. Wilson chased, and he's tackled by Nate Bell. We see Bell make some plays. Normally it's not tackles, but that's a 3-and-out. 2 minutes left to go in the half. What can the Jaguars do offensively this time? Mason hits, but throws on time to Allen Robinson as he tests Richard Sherman again. Here is Mason from the shotgun, back to the air. Good coverage. He floats outside and is off the mark for Emmanuel Sanders. It is 3rd down. Bunch set right, Sanders alone left on 3rd down. Now working to his left and chased. Mason puts it up, but couldn't really put much on it. And that stat line for him is just staggering. After an exchange of punts at Seattle football with just over a minute to go, here's the screen, and the play is made by Franklin Fitzgerald. How often do you see the defensive tackle making the play out there? Here's 2nd and 15. They're content running it, and Fitzgerald makes another play. He's been very disruptive in this first half. That takes us to halftime, and despite 4 Nataki Mason interceptions, it is only a 13-7 game with not much offense. In the second half, can the Jaguars avoid the turnovers that plagued them early on? It's only a 6-point game. The defense has done outstanding given the circumstances. We'll see if they can get some turnovers and help swing this game in their favor. Seahawk ball to begin the 3rd, and look at who it is again. Franklin Fitzgerald. He's been everywhere. Now it's 2nd down and 10 as they hand it off again. And now it's Sergio Brown. So 2 good stops on Lynch, and it's 3rd down and 11. Here comes the blitz. Pressure getting there. Wilson hit, and his pass goes outside and incomplete. Nice 3-and-out to begin the half. And here is Wing kicking it back to Tavon Austin from inside the 30. Tavon to the 40, now makes a move to the near side. He's in Seahawk territory. Can he break the big one? Not this time, as he can't spin out the linebacker. But here's a short field now for Jacksonville. It's only a 6-point game. I still cannot believe that. And this is TJ Yeldon with one of his best runs of the day. That's a 9-yard 1st down carry. 2 tight ends to the right now as they try that strong power run. And there's Cam Chancellor stopping Yeldon. No rhythm for this run game. It's now 3rd and 9 from the 16. 3 receivers on the field. Good protection. Mason on target for Marquise Lee, and the Jaguars are down to the 1. Here's their chance. McDonald motions left. Marshall gets the carry, and he breaks the play, never touching the ground. The Jaguars have tied the game at 13. And now for the extra point. Jason Myers has given the Jacksonville Jaguars the lead. After 4 turnovers, they still have found a way. Seahawk football now trailing for the first time as that ball goes off the hands of Stedman Bailey. They have not done very much in the air, but now 3rd down. Blitz picked up, and the pass is on target. Jimmy Graham with the catch, and a gain of 16 yards. Now at their own 42 and back to the run. Lynch straight ahead. 1st down and more into Jacksonville territory. He's now at 72 yards rushing. Offset backfield. On 1st down, it's a fake. Outside. It is incomplete as Nate Bell was covering Jimmy Graham. They stay with the offset look. And they'll go weak side with Lynch. But Telvin Smith is there, and Lynch loses one. They force Seattle into another 3rd and long, and here they come. Pressure there from Fitzgerald. Wilson on the move and sacked again. Telvin Smith. What a day thus far for the defense. Up by 1, the Jaguars have it. Can they build upon this lead? Mason to Sanders, and that was just in time. The defender was there, but Sanders makes the ground. From their own 19, here is Yeldon, and he's going nowhere. Thrown down by Jordan Hill. They still can't find the balance on offense. Now 2nd and long. Mason to Thomas, and incomplete as Bobby Wagner makes the hit to jar it free. It's 3rd and long now from inside their own 20. Seattle brings 4. Good protection. Now Mason works outside the pocket and sees a man open. It's Yeldon! Inside the 20 to the 10. He lost the football. No way! Richard Sherman has the recovery. With everything going their way lately, the Jaguars nearly have the game's biggest play and get inside the red zone. But Earl Thomas, hustling downfield, knocks the ball away from Yeldon, and Sherman just makes the recovery inbounds. Absolutely unbelievable. Seahawk ball at their own 5, and Wilson from his own end zone off the fake. Outside and complete. Tough catch made by Jimmy Graham as they get 14 yards. Jaguars with a single high safety look, and Wilson looks to run. He has the edge and a 1st down, sliding ahead of Reggie Nelson at the 37. Seattle goes with a bunch look as the 3rd quarter drains. Here is Wilson taking off again. Their pass game hasn't done a lot. The run game is hit or miss, so why not have Wilson pick up these yards with his legs? On 1st down, they go back to Lynch, and he breaks a tackle and works outside. Stopped by Nate Bell after a gain of 12. They're now in field goal range. The 4th quarter is now underway. Russell Wilson downfield and knocked away by Josh Buchanan. What a game we have going on today. Plays being made all over the place. From the 30 on 3rd and 6, blitz picked up, and Wilson completes the pass. 1st down, Seattle. They're inside the red zone yet again. Jacksonville's defense has done a good job in the red zone today, but 1st down, Wilson has Jimmy Graham open. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Great drive there, specifically by Russell Wilson and Jimmy Graham. They started the drive and they ended the drive with a couple Russell Wilson runs in between. Now they'll go for two. It's a 5-point game at the moment. Wilson runs immediately and dives into the end zone. It's a 7-point Seahawk lead. So now Jacksonville, it's gut check time. Do you have an answer? Still a lot of game to play though, as Yeldon is thrown down by Bobby Wagner. Another very poor running game for the Jaguars today. In a 3-wide set on second down, edge pressure, Bruce Irvin the first one there, but Michael Bennett and Jordan Hill make the play as Mason is sacked again. 3rd down and 14 now for Jacksonville. This time good protection, but Mason waiting for something to happen. Great coverage, and he's sacked again. Now it's Cliff Averill as time runs out. Great job by Seattle's defense. Here's another short field beginning in Jacksonville territory as Marshawn Lynch goes inside. There's a 6-yard pickup. The box is stacked on 3rd and short. It is Lynch. He's thrown down by Reggie Nelson and ruled short. Lynch also shaken up on the play. Lynch made it to the 37-yard line and they'll bring on the field goal unit. A 54-yard try. And it hooks wide right, no good. It is still a 1-score game. And now pretty good field position for the Jaguars as Nataki Mason hits Michael Riley. And they're into Seattle territory with just under 8 minutes to go. On 3rd and short, they do keep it on the ground and TJ Yeldon gets 3. They're now at Seattle's 43-yard line, less than 7 minutes to go. Here's a play fake. Mason stops and finds Riley downfield again. The Jaguars get 23 on this connection, and they're in the red zone. Can Jacksonville find the end zone again? Yeldon on 1st down is stopped after about 3 or 4 yards. Another 3rd down, they go empty. Against the 4-man rush, there's Michael Riley, and he powers through Cam Chancellor to get the 1st down. Riley very key on this possession as the Jags are inside the 10. They stay empty. Mason puts it up. Robinson goes up to get it. Touchdown! We're tied again. Denard Young was injured earlier. He has not returned, and they just went after his replacement. Great call. 21 apiece. Less than 5 minutes to go in today's game as Marshawn Lynch has not returned. This is Stephon Taylor, and McLean stops him for a loss of 1. Here's a big blitz, but Graham gets open, and he's in the open field. Running away from Jacksonville defenders, he takes it inside the 40. They got aggressive that time. They have been blitzing Wilson, and Sergio Brown couldn't cover Graham. Now they're going up the seam, and Kearse makes the great catch inside the 15. They waste no time. They're in the red zone again. Now they're taking their time. Hand off Stephon Taylor, hit by McLean and stopped by Nelson at the 7. 2 minutes to play, 3rd and 3. They go counter. Taylor met by Telvin Smith and brought down for a loss. So that will call on the field goal unit. And it will leave time on the clock for Jacksonville as the chip shot field goal is good. 24-21, a minute and 15 seconds left. Here's the kickoff to Tavon Austin. He takes it from the 2. Up the numbers, and he didn't get the blocks necessary to do much with it. So, can Nataki Mason get the Jaguars to at least field goal range? Drive underway, and a good start as he connects with Julius Thomas for 12. The clock winds inside 50 seconds. Mason to the middle, and Wagner knocks it out of Lee's hands with a big hit. The Jaguars are targeting the 41-yard line. Still a lot of work to do to get there. At their own 32, it's 2nd and 10. Good protection, and there is Yeldon. 1st down, good spin, in Seahawk territory and stopped at the 43. They're very close to Jason Myers' target range. 35 seconds now. Good coverage, and Mason is planted in the backfield, incomplete. Robinson and Thomas in the slots. It's 3rd and 10. Here's the blitz. It gets there, and Mason's hit again. Great job by Seattle. It's now 4th and 10. It would be a 60-yard field goal from here. They're going for it instead. Mason to the air. Downfield and incomplete. Cam Chancellor jars the ball out of Marquise Lee's hands. And the Jaguars fall in week 17, 24-21. What a game this was here. I knew this was going to be tough against Seattle. I didn't expect 4 first-half interceptions, and then the defense playing as well as they did for most of the game, and it being this close after all these turnovers. I still think this was a really good game despite a lot of sloppy mistakes early on. I made some really bad decisions passing, but things did get cleaned up later. That TJ Yeldon fumble though, and we had all that momentum on our side, things were going our way. Man, that fumble, I could not believe it. Yeldon's second fumble of the year. No, I'm not putting a lot of blame on Yeldon for this loss. Obviously, the turnovers early helped the Seahawks get most of their points, and without that and those short fields, it could have been a very different game. But this is how it played out, 24-21. It was a great game, I thought, and now we move on to the postseason. The Jacksonville Jaguars finish 11-5, and they do get a first-round bye, but not home field advantage. The Steelers won the head-to-head game against the Jaguars. They are the 1 seed. The Chargers, Patriots, Broncos, and Chiefs round out the rest of the playoffs for the AFC. And then in the NFC, the Packers are the 1 seed, the Eagles are the 2, then Panthers, Cowboys, Seahawks, and Giants also make it. So we can sim right through Wild Card Weekend, and here are the game's results. Congrats to Seattle for winning twice in this episode. They beat Dallas 23-20. And the Panthers beat the Giants 31-26. Then in the AFC, the Broncos beat San Diego 41-10. And then the Patriots beat the Chiefs 24-21. For the first time in this series, the Jaguars will play in the postseason, and they take on the New England Patriots in the divisional round. This is what they did against the Chiefs in their 3-point win. Kellen Moore had 313 passing yards. He is Tom Brady's successor, 2 touchdown passes. Arian Foster is hurt, so Dan Herron has to start at tailback. And then Michael Floyd and Rob Gronkowski are the main passing threats to worry about. Here is the slate of games for the divisional round. And here is a look at the Patriots' injuries. No Jamie Collins, Julian Edelman, or Arian Foster in this next game. Here's a look at their schedule. They had a pretty good stretch early on and then were very inconsistent, alternating wins and losses before winning 2 straight and then their wild card game. Now a look at their roster. A lot of defensive talent here. They picked up Sharif Floyd in the offseason, and they have a very good offensive line as these Patriot teams tend to have. And I know the big question mark here is Kellen Moore at quarterback. Obviously, he's no Tom Brady, but he succeeds at a lot of things that this Patriot offense focuses on. He's very accurate on short and medium throws. He doesn't have a strong arm. He's not going to complete many deep balls. He has been productive through his first 2 years as a starter in New England, and I'm basing a lot of my plan for this game around him. Not because he can do so many things, but because he's limited in where he's effective. So don't expect much safety help next week. I want our corners to go one-on-one. Then those safeties, we're going to do some robber coverage, some double coverage on Rob Gronkowski, and some blitzing as Kellen Moore is not very mobile. They have a very good offensive line, and I don't want to just drop back into our traditional looks and let Kellen Moore throw those underneath passes and maybe hit big plays to Rob Gronkowski. So I'm expecting a lot of Reggie Nelson being the guy to match up with him. I think he's better than Sergio Brown in that respect, and Brown is pretty good towards the line of scrimmage, stopping the run and as a blitzer. So those safeties are going to be pretty key to helping slow down Rob Gronkowski and to help the front four get some extra pressure. So that is your matchup for the first playoff game of the series. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the number 2 seed against the New England Patriots. Thank you all for watching today's video. I know it was definitely ugly early on, and it sucks we couldn't get the victory in that 1 seed. But still, this was a very successful season, and we'll see where the playoffs take us. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know down below any thoughts you had on today's video and the upcoming matchup against New England. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the first playoff game of the series on Monday. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day.